Y'all doing today? This your boy DomPrints. Coming on here today to talk about Tyronn Lue. Check people that keep trying to say that people in Cleveland should be thankful for winning one title under while having the so-called supposedly greatest player to ever play the game, a player that's on Mount Rushmore. We should be happy to have that and for never winning anything. And that type of loser mentality is why people think that Cleveland should be grateful, you know. But if you had one of the best players that was a decade and type of player, and you can't name that type of player that you had that was a decade great player that never won the title. So for people that think Tyronn Lue is a good coach and they keep trying to fill this narrative about how the Cavs should, send praises to Tyronn Lue for being the first coach to win that NBA title in, 52 years. Oh, yeah, that's all good. That's all great, what you're saying. Oh, but Tyronn Lue left 3 championships on the table, and LeBron left a lot as well. So, some people don't win one championship, that's right. But like I said, that loser mentality of telling my team and my city basically we have to be grateful with winning one title is kind of nuts to me, especially when everybody doesn't think like that. So now Tyronn Lue as a coach was always complained about, especially after it was magnified when what was the player's name? Jay Crowder and Isaiah Thomas played on the team. It was magnified, but no one really, to me, paid attention to the fact that Tyronn Lue, to me, did not get players up to play. You got players throwing soup at people in practice, and then you got players that's playing harder for other teams under other coaches, but wasn't playing hard for Tyronn Lue because Tyronn Lue is what they call LeBron's guy. So since this is LeBron's guy, why am I gonna be trying to play hard for him? Because is he here to impress LeBron or impress or to coach the team? It's a team game, and a lot of reasons why LeBron couldn't win in Cleveland is because it was all about LeBron. Though LeBron would mention his team and things of that sort, that's fine and dandy, but when it comes down to it, it was about LeBron. Then I'm tired of people saying that Dan Gilbert was a bad NBA executive, and I can see why they would say that. And then I can also see why I'm part of the people that's not really against Dan Gilbert for writing a letter, because soon as it comes to a business, people want to be like, oh, he's got a slave owner mentality, this, that, and the third. But now I'm thinking like a slave owner because like I'm putting this money up for my team, and LeBron is my employee, and I'm trying to treat him as good as I can. I have nothing to do with what's going on with other guys on the team, that if they did or did not penetrate his mom or any of that sort of thing. I really don't have anything to do with that, but anything that LeBron wants, that I will try my best to get, and I don't really care about spending money. So if someone's gonna make is gonna go on TV and make my this is my city though. I'm not talking as Dan Gilbert right now. This is my city. If someone's gonna go on TV and then try to make my city a laughing stock even more than what it is, then I don't respect you. Especially then it became a Cleveland, we never really messed with Cleveland people or Cleveland anyway. LeBron saying this after he leaves Cleveland or whatnot, and then comes back with this. To me, people booing him or whatnot, I really, LeBron just messed basketball up for me as a Cleveland fan, and far as for sports, because everybody tries to compare. But anyway, Dan Gilbert to me is not a bad owner, especially when someone's going to pay J.R. Smith, which was not. He's a bad owner for paying J.R. Smith. He's a bad owner for giving Tristan Thompson. I'm not against African Americans getting their money. For all you people that's, oh yeah, we need to have more African Americans and things of that sort. I'm not against that. So you'll have to know me in order to understand where I'm coming from. But as far as Dan Gilbert being a bad owner, I'm not in agreement to that. Besides for some of his moves that he made in signing clutch sports players or whatnot that did not produce when it was time to produce. And that's far as LeBron James, a clutch sports player that didn't produce when it was time to produce. Sat on the bench and cried like a little, you know what, after refs were against him. Refs been against LeBron to me his whole career because there's a lot of times with people holding onto his legs, holding onto his arms as he's going to the rack and it's not called. But you don't practice free throws anyway, so the fact that you don't practice to hit free throws in clutch situations or any of that, that's a big problem. As a superstar and one of the greatest players, generational players to play the game, so-called generational players to play the game, and mentally wise. So, yeah, I do respect LeBron James in certain aspects, as do I respect Dan Gilbert in certain aspects. But Tyronn Lue was not a good coach. He was an okay coach, and for all these people that's trying to say Tyronn Lue should get the Lakers job now, can you please explain to me why would I want Tyronn Lue to come coach my Lakers team with young players, and Tyronn Lue have not showed a record of being able to coach young players? Please explain to me. So now you're going to try to go get Anthony Davis to be the coach. Anthony Davis to play on the team. And as Anthony Davis is playing on the team, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, now let's see we're going to get around that. See, it makes no sense because if a coach can't shown that he could not make in-game adjustments, and I don't like Tyronn Lue. It's another reason I don't like Tyronn Lue because, see, if you want to make this a race thing, that's one thing. But if you want to just make this a people's thing, a humanity thing, that's another thing. Another reason that I did not really like Tyronn Lue to become the Cavaliers coach, even though he did help win the championship against one of the best teams to ever play in the NBA for a regular season wise, the Golden State Warriors. So one of the reasons that I did not like Tyronn Lue is because he totally had undermined the David Blatt as a coach. And you can tell me all these national people keep saying, oh, David Blatt was a laughing stock and all that. Okay, David Blatt had, from the outside looking in, I'm not in the national media, but David Blatt had a 32-11 record as a Cavaliers coach. And people say that the regular season don't mean anything. And that's good and fine and dandy for his first year as a coach. Or his second year as a coach, 32-11 going through the season was a pretty good record. Seeing as the Cavs had never seen that record again after David Blatt was fired, they never seen that same record ever again. Now David Blatt's shoes were stepped on by what would seem to be LeBron James and Tyronn Lue. Tyronn Lue was after that job anyway, especially after he had helped David Blatt. After David Blatt was about to make a bad coaching decision far as calling a timeout during the play. Yeah, now we got LeBron James coming here. Him and Tyronn Lue thinking they run the team. So this was like a setup for David Blatt to fail anyway. I would like to see if what David Blatt would have been able to do with a young nucleus because I felt that his offense was ran better than Tyronn Lue's give LeBron James the ball and get out the way mentality. Go spot up on the 3-line, just constantly moving, just spot up on the 3-line. Possibly if LeBron James would have been a post-up player and some coach would have ever got that through his head to get more on the block. KD puts people on his back and is able to turn around and shoot over them with one leg far as Dirk. So it's players that feel like they're great at things, and then it's players that work on things to become great at. And can anybody tell me what LeBron is great at? Like, what is he the best at? Being an all-around player, that is good to me. That is great. But is he the greatest at one thing? Yes or no? But anyway, Tyronn Lue, I want to just conclude this with I think Tyronn Lue was an okay coach.